Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RFUEA Grounds, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Walter Orangi. Welcome to the live stream of the Kenya versus Uganda game. This game is live in Nairobi, the first leg of the 2024 Elgon Cup. My name is Walter Orangi. I'm joined by the coach Uganda, Alex Mudola, and of course, former Kenya international, Fred Oloz. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, thank you.
So, coach, we are getting ready for this afternoon's game. What do you have to say about the preparation phase and how you guys have been able to get to Nairobi today?
Well, preparation wasn't ideal, but we still made do with the time we had. I mean, this is Kenya. From the days I played Kenya, man, this is a derby, so we prepared the best we could. But luckily, we're back here. Yeah.
Speaking of playing against Kenya, it's always a tough task playing against Kenya. Where do you have your game set out for this afternoon?
Tricky question. Anyway, this afternoon we're focusing on us. For once, we always when we're going to play Kenya, you're looking at what is Kenya doing, what are they going to do. We want to focus on us. We want to see if our structures are really stringing up, because we have a plan. We had a 4-year, 8-year plan, so we're focusing on ourselves for this particular game. Yeah.
Now, just before I hand it over to my co-commentator, the question I have for you guys today, in terms of play, we have the structure that Uganda is favorable with in terms of the play. You have the forwards, you've named a very good mobile fast 8, and of course you have a very strong bench. This game, clear weather, there is no rain as we had thought about it. This afternoon, is it the forwards or the backs?
I think it's going to be the forwards and maybe the centers. Yeah. The way I look at it, the way Kenya named their side, yeah, I think the battle is going to be in the forwards and the centers. And then the battle of the high ball, the back three, yeah.
Karibu sana, namesake. You know, this man Mudola is a big legend down there in Uganda and also in Kenya. Any changes that have happened over the last couple of years? How has the game of Uganda been tracking?
For the last couple of years, from when we came in, I think, yeah, we've tried to change the attacking structure especially. We used to be a lot forward dominated. We don't want to kill that, but we're bringing some flair attack, because that favors our side as well. We can't always go confrontational, so yeah, it's a thing we're really working on. It's been work in progress. It's hard, but I'm sure it will we'll get there.
What is the place of this cup in Uganda? I remember in 2003 when we inaugurated it, there was a lot of excitement in Uganda, not so much in Kenya until, I mean, it started picking up. What is the place of Elgon Cup in Uganda?
I think I would say the same. It used to be really something bigger, but it's going to pick up. Maybe, should I say COVID, there have been some years, if it had been consistent, perhaps it would have the same vibe like it should be. So now that we've started, I hope it continues and it will pick up. It will pick up. But for us, we don't take it lightly. It's still a derby, man. Kenya, Uganda, still a derby any day. So
no, I find it a very, very big match. Who are you looking to take the bite off in Kenya today? I mean, I'm sure you've watched Kenya for a while. Who are the guys that you think will be the guys that you have to snuff out?
The whole team, man. The whole team. Like I said, we're focusing also. So if you start picking out a few, so we're looking at how our structures go. How is our defense patterns? How is the attack pattern? Of course, it was in hind view of Kenya, but that's why I say it's the whole team, because we don't want to sing out. Of course, we know what Kubo can do, we know what Okoth can do, we know what, but we are focusing on ourselves today.
I know that Uganda's always had a good tight five. Is that the case still? I see Mugerwa is there. We know him very well here. Senteza.
Many think he's old, but those are still young guys. You know, for a prop man, even at 38, you can go. Our tight five has always been good. Not been the case for the past 3 years, but we're building to get back our glory.
But I see Uhuru and I see Emong. I mean, what's the problem?
If we had like 5 Uhurus, 5 Emongs, then we'd be in the place where we're comfortable with. Yeah.
I see Sol Kivumbi, veteran, is still at it.
Yes. Yeah, and there's still a couple of younger forwards coming through. But like I said, if we could have 6 each position, 6 forwards, we'll be in a good place.
Thank you.
And that's part of the plan we want. Yeah.
Well, ideally, Coach, speaking of the structure, you're looking at an opportunity to go at the Kenya SIMBAS, whether it's the forwards or the backs, and also looking at your player's size, you have to adapt towards what is on offer. You can actually play what is in front of you, and that is the most important thing.
That is true.
It is a 2-legged tie between Kenya and Uganda, and of course, winning or losing today doesn't mean that the end is on the horizon for yourself and, of course, the Kenya SIMBAS. how do you take a two-legged tie? Do you really throw in all your eggs in one basket for this leg, or you have actually split your squad in different ways?
Two-legged ties are very tricky. You want to win the first one. Although that has not been the case, because I think Uganda has been winning the first leg for the past 3 or 4 years. Man, then we come and lose the second leg. And this is the first time we're starting in Kenya in the past 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
We've always been starting in Uganda, then when we come here, Kenya. So with the first leg, I think you'd want to win first of all. But the plan B is to keep the score competitive so that when you return home,
yes,
then you're closing it
it's
out.
manageable.
Yeah.
Well, now, last year's Elgon Cup was very close because it was a double between, it was actually a combination between the Victoria Cup and, of course,
Cup and
the Elgon Cup.
Yeah.
Now, this year, do you see the scores being that close as compared to last year, or something could be in the works?
This game is very funny. On the day, if one team slackens off, man, the score can even go to 50.
Yes.
If both teams are fired up, then it will be a tight contest.
Yes.
So today my prediction is it will be a tight contest, but I think Uganda by 3.
Uganda by 3.
Yeah.
Why?
He said Uganda by 3. What would be your score prediction?
My score prediction, it's definitely going to be 2 scores for Kenya. And that's speaking from the heart more than from technical. But I would say that Uganda is always quite a team to play against. And every win that we make we really celebrate it.
That is true.
Thank you so much, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Alex Mudola, the head coach of the Uganda Rugby Cranes. He has told us what he has in terms of the team today. They have named the team a very solid team. He's looking to make sure that the first leg is done and dusted. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined yet again by the Kenya SIMBAS coach. We have a very own Carlos Katia. Carlos, karibu sana, coach. Pretty sure you guys are ready and looking forward to this afternoon's game. I'd like to talk to you a bit about the preparations phase. It has been a bit shaky for the Kenya SIMBAS, but eventually you've put through a first 15 for a match day. Take us through all that.
Yeah, well, we've had a very shaky start, but we managed to get a very good 2 weeks of preparation. We went through our phases. We put everything, and the guys understood what is at hand. And yeah, so we have just this game to play, and then we'll see.
It's a two-legged tie, coach. Last year we had a narrow loss to Uganda away in Uganda. This year we actually have the opportunity to kick off the Elgon Cup right here in Nairobi. What do you have in terms of preparations and looking forward to this two-legged tie? Is it being won in Nairobi, or are you taking the battle to Uganda?
No. Like we said, we want to go off the blocks quickly. We want to make sure that we win at home. We haven't played at home for quite a long time, 6 years. So we want to bring some excitement, and we want to bring glory days for SIMBAS back in Nairobi. So there is no second leg, whatever. Our plan is to win right now, not tomorrow. So we want to get started quickly.
All right, in terms of play, do you have a specific target in terms of going at the Ugandans? Are you going at their pack? Are you going at their backline? What is the game plan in terms of the Kenya SIMBAS versus Uganda?
Look, no, there's a process that we have. Ultimately, we're not targeting anything of Uganda. Uganda's got their game plan. We have our own game plan. We want to stick to our structures because if you start planning around a team that we have not played in a while, then we will lose focus of what we want to achieve. So we have a plan that we want to stick with, and that's the plan that is actually driving us towards our bigger goal, which is qualifying for the World Cup next year, 2027.
Lovely. Speaking of the World Cup, just before I hand you over to Fred, just a bit of insight into your team selection, your backline and your forwards. You've named a very good mobile fast 8 in terms of your forwards, and of course a very, very straight running and hard running rugby through the midfield. That is your center pairings. That is Walter Okoth and Tyson Maina. Now, that clearly sends a picture. The picture that you've painted is we are going and we're coming to run straight at you. Is that the plan?
Look, we cannot say that's a very, very outdated mandate if you're going to say we're just going to run directly at them. But look, like I said before, we have a plan, and you said we've chosen a very balanced forward pack, meaning we've got guys who can spread the ball. We've got guys who can play between the centers. And again, looking at our back line, we've got some quick guys on the outside. And looking at Walter, I mean, Walter is our guy who shift between 10 and 12. So we've got a skillful center pair. We've got a hard-hitting outside center. We've got a brilliant 15. So look, we've got a very, very balanced squad and a very balanced team to make sure that we can achieve what we want. It's part of the game profiling and understanding what we want to achieve.
All right, friend.
Now, Carlos, Karibu Nairobi.
Asante.
Now, the Elgon Cup, what is its exact place in the wider scheme of what Kenya intends to achieve?
Look, fortunately, we received some very interesting news that this is the oldest cup in Africa. So we want to regain that status and bring glory days into the Elgon Cup, and hence we didn't make a mockery of it. We brought in the best team, and we brought in the best guys to achieve that standard of Elgon Cup that it was set before. Like again, if I remember, it's been a while since we played it.
All right. Let me also. I see lots of changes in terms of what your team looks like now and what it was looking like as when we ended the year. What informed this thinking?
No, I actually don't think there's a lot of changes. We've kept a consistent team. These are players that have been playing, who have been in a wider squad. And also remember, we have not had many friendlies and we have not had many international games. So there's a lot of players within our pool of players to pick from. So we have to eventually give each and every person an opportunity to play and showcase what they have. And also we don't want to be naive to say we only have a first 23. We need a wide pool to choose from. And eventually, we have to understand players are on form and off form. So we are looking at that thing as well.
I see that we have, in terms of leadership, player leadership, for once we have a captain and then we have two vice captains, which is looking like the path that is being taken by a lot of teams. For us?
Yeah, we've actually done the same. We have two vice captains, and we had a leader in George Nyambua, and he's been the longest serving player in the SIMBAS with 41 caps today. And so with the two co-captains, you can see that's grooming the next generation captains of Kenya SIMBAS. So yeah.
Where are we attacking the Ugandans? Where are we attacking them today?
Look, honestly speaking, looking at the Ugandans, they also packing up a very heavy pack. So we want to actually look into trying to play them in the middle and stretching them out wide, but we need to earn the respect to go wide. So as I've mentioned earlier, we have a very balanced team without giving away all our playbook.
Yeah.
We have tricks. We have a few tricks up our sleeves, and we know where their weaknesses are, and we wish we will exploit them. Hopefully, they can play according to what we've seen in the past, and then we exploit those weaknesses.
Thank you, Carlos, and all the best.
Now, Carlos, just before I let you go, I've looked at your team selection. We have quite a number of players who've made their way through the Kenya Under-20 team straight into the Kenya SIMBAS side. And now, my biggest question is, what informs the selection process, and how do you see the pathways through the age grade rugby going all the way to the Kenya SIMBAS? Yeah,
look, when we started, our head coach, Jerome Parvater, spoke about a 3-year pathway that we're looking into blending, and hence we were part and parcel of the under-20s Bathurst and going to Scotland. It is that we can have one alignment and one playing structure, and look, it has actually really worked very well for us, because now bringing players like Andy Cole, Mike Wamwala, but unfortunately he couldn't make it because he's injured. It shows that the system that Coach Jerome Parvater, it's working. So we are working towards that, and in this 3-year pathway we're talking about is also leading that same under-20 that was in Scotland should be the one playing the World Cup in 2027.
Yeah. Now, it's good you brought it up, and it's a question that many, and I know our viewers who are following this are interested, and also the clubs that play within the local setup. The structure that our national team plays identically has to mirror what our club rugby is all about. Is there a plan to try and make the clubs within the Kenya rugby setup play just like the SIMBAS does?
Look, we had a series of camps in many different areas of Kenya. We had our first one in Kakamega. Fortunately, we had information sent out that all coaches are please asked to attend and see what the Kenyan team are doing, and then afterwards we normally sit and talk with the coaches and tell them why we are trying to do this. And also we've had once in Nakuru where we invited coaches so that they can see our playbook and understand what we are doing. So we had a camp in Nairobi. All coaches were called and invited. All clubs were called to come and see, and we do what we do when we're practicing the different types of plays, how and why we do them, so that they can take those and come and implement them. So Jerome has been a very big advocate that all clubs must come and we have the same game plan or a similarity of game plan, so that everyone, when you're selected, you just move in straight smoothly into the Kenya SIMBAS.
Well, that is lovely, and hopefully you guys are able to see that into fruition. Now, finally, just before I let you go, it's been a very long time before the SIMBAS played right here at the RFUEA Grounds. The atmosphere looks fantastic. Everyone is really looking forward to this game. What do you make of this game right here in Nairobi? And should we consistently get the game out of Nairobi and back, or should we have the game here most of the time?
Look, we've been advocating for more games such as this to unite and bring back rugby in Kenya. We really love playing in Nairobi, but also we can't forget and we can't be naive that there's rugby elsewhere in Nakuru, Kisumu, Kakamega. We also want to take rugby to the people. This rugby is for everyone in Kenya. So we really enjoy coming to Nairobi, and it's a very nice atmosphere. People come out in numbers. You can see people are happy, and it also gives us a good platform for the players to play very well and enjoy themselves. So honestly speaking, it's a great and display.
Yes.
When we see our fans out here, and you can see they're wearing their colors of Kenya, and the guys now will be geared, and I'm sure you'll see a great game and a great display of Kenyan rugby.
Before we let you go, we're doing a small prediction game.
Okay.
We've just talked to the Ugandan coach. He said they're winning by 3. I am not sure that is true, but you also have your own sentiments on that.
Oh, no, definitely. I'm looking at 12 points. 12 points. We're winning by 12 points.
I'd predicted 2 scores, and so I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Carlos. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Coach Carlos Katia, the coach of the Kenya SIMBAS. He's part of the whole technical committee, that is the Kenya SIMBAS coaching committee. He's told us everything about the Kenya SIMBAS, talked about the selection process, and also what to anticipate and expect as we continue the build-up towards the Elgon Cup 2024. I'd like to excuse Coach Carlos, and it's a pleasure, Coach. Thank you so much. All the best. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are left with my co-commentator, that is Fred Oloz. Fred, just a bit of in-house. The two sides have named their teams. Where do you think this game will be won? Because you have a glimpse of what the two sides have in terms of the forwards and also the backs.
No, I think that Uganda will try their best to attack from their tight five. They've always had a good tight five anyway. I mean, we already know two of the guys. I mean, Sentenga, and we know Mugerwa, and we know Uhuru, and we know Emong, and at the back we have Sol Kivumbi. So I think the attack will come from the forwards. Now the Kenyan side will definitely be looking to run, doing total rugby, and they'll be looking to run everything from everywhere. And I suspect that they will not restrict themselves to any specific facet of the game, whether that be backs or forwards.
Now the squads are on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. The Kenya Simbas clearly have gone with an experienced backline. The midfield pairing. You have Tyson Maina. He's been a player at the Menengai Oilers. You know very well about his ability to take the ball forward. Walter Okoth is also another one. There is a picture being sent through, and they're not guys of catch and pass, really. They are guys of catch and run straight. What do you think about that in terms of developing that game plan for the Kenya Simbas?
I think that from this point of view, I suspect the coaches were looking at what will take us forward, especially in terms of the backline defense that Uganda is going to put forward. So, but one of the things that I see from Kenya is that there is a very, I mean, we are starting young, and then we seem to be looking to finish with the more experienced guys. You have Musonye in that place, you have Unsomu, and so on, that kind of thing. So I think it's a balanced thing, but the intention is almost clear from what you see from the team set out.
Yeah, now looking at the Ugandans, who do you think is going to be a problem for the Kenyans?
I like how Ofoirworth plays his rugby. You can be sure that if we take our eye off Ofoirworth, there's going to be problems. But the nine also, Wanyama is also become quite a good player. So a half-back pairing that is quite good. But obviously, we have to be ready for the heavy work in the front row.
Now, speaking of Kenya, they have to lay a platform. They have to play very well. Their set piece has to come through for them. Their lineouts, they have to fill them. They have to make sure that they protect their ball. But most importantly, Fred, just to confirm this, Kenya has never had a specific brand of rugby. We've never had that clear and cut out rugby brand that we know that we're always going to be a running team, or we just have a lot of chaos whenever we have an opportunity to play. Today is an opportunity for the front row and the tight eight to decide the game. Do you think that we are going to be a better team in terms of set piece, or Ugandans are going to come up better than Kenya?
No, we've never had as clinical a set piece as the Ugandans. We win, but we have never really had as clinical a set piece. But I think, to your question of whether Kenya plays a specific brand or not, I have typically said that the thing that we need to fix is our basics of all the plays. Yes. The basics of forward play, the basics of back play, the basics of set piece, and so on and so forth. So if we raised the average level, as they say for the good war sides, you raise the average level of your battle hardenedness or battle skills, will definitely be a much better. But I think we are on the side of running.
Yes.
We tend to run as much as is possible whenever the opportunity presents itself. And I suspect that's going to be the case. I said earlier that I suspect that we're going to do total rugby. And I really suspect so.
Now, speaking of running rugby, the crowd here is really looking forward to this game. And the Kenya Simbas have to do so much in terms of bringing the crowd into the game from the onset. I am looking at a scenario where Kenya will have to either settle fast or struggle going into the first quarter of the game. But speaking of the fans, what do you make of the atmosphere at the RFUEA Grounds?
Because there are a lot of people who still have a soft spot for the legends. And they look very organized. So some of the pressure that tends to be seen in the public is, hey, why can't the Kenya rugby game get as organized as the legends are? And people forget that these are people who have been in the game for a long time, so they are very experienced. So I think we must keep that product in the game, and they need to go around the country so that people get to know them.
Thank you. Speaking of products, on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, those are the highlights of the legends by Nondis and the Tritons from the UK. A very narrow win there for the Legends by Nondis, 19-14 in favor of the local side. As clearly on the screen, we have the Tritons going over for their second try. Now, speaking of the Elgon Cup, Fred, this is a product that, if really handled well, can provide the future of rugby in terms of this country. We have the ladies, we have the age grade that is probably under 18s, under 20s. We now have the legends, and of course we have the test gentlemen, that is the SIMBAS. In terms of getting this product going, where do you think Kenya Rugby can, or Uganda Rugby can do so well in terms of preparations?
You know, I have a very soft spot for the Elgon Cup, having been the guy to propose that we should have an Elgon Cup way back in 2003. The Elgon Cup is such a fundamental part of our game that we mustn't get confused about it. The stronger we are as Kenya, the stronger Uganda will be. And then cyclically, it means that we can go back and forth and reinforce each other. It's a test match. I mean, it has all the status from World Rugby. So we must, you know, keep looking for all the support we can get to ensure that this cup never, ever dies. I tell you, it is a fantastic thing to go watch this particular cup in Kampala. So let's keep this product going. Let's make all the aspects that you have mentioned stronger, because, you know, the foundation of the game is what builds the ultimate one. And there's still a big future for this one. I mean, we grew Victoria Cup off Elgon Cup. I mean, we needed to keep that momentum because, I mean, we included Zimbabwe. The intention was also to have Namibia. There are still so many rungs we can climb to make this game grow beyond what it is at the moment.
Now, beyond the Elgon Cup, because the Kenya SIMBAS and, of course, the Uganda CRANES would be benefiting with playing lots of test matches and, of course, better competition as they prepare for the cycle of the Rugby World Cup. Do you think that the two sides are playing enough tests as we look at the bigger picture?
The short answer is no, not enough at all. I mean, if you cycle back to just, you know, 15 years ago, we were playing more test matches than we are currently playing. I mean, we played against Portugal. A big number of those Portugal players that we played in Dubai were here when we beat them. We played Germany here. We played Hong Kong.
Yes.
We played so many test matches that we need to go back to. And there's always the problem of money.
Yes.
But I think we had less money so many years ago, but we still managed to get some big outcomes. It's the ambition that must count here.
Yes.
It's the ambition. We just must get ambitious. We'll get the test matches. There are enough people who are wanting to play test matches all the time.
Well, ideally, speaking of money, you have to build the product first before going into the financing bit of it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the job for the Kenya Rugby Union and, of course, the Uganda Rugby Union is cut out for them on how to make the product better and also source for funding. That is something that we really cannot go without speaking about.
Yeah, we can't. And one of the places to go is just those same legends. A lot of them are so well connected. It's just that sometimes, you know, when people leave the scene, people forget them. But the rugby game works on networks. And this is the same case everywhere in the world. And we will not say that we don't have the network. The networks are there. We just need to go to them and committedly show them there's a product. Otherwise, people will keep on living their lives after leaving the game, and the game will be poorer for it. So I think that the opportunity is there. And we just need to keep knocking the door so that we can get our test rugby going.
Now, before we finish the pre-match analysis for the Elgon Cup, ladies and gentlemen, we won't step away without talking about the ladies team currently taking part in the Rugby Africa Sevens Women Games in Ghana. Speaking of the Kenya Lionesses, where do you think they've won the first game? That is 61-0. They were playing Mauritius. They have a game, I think, in a couple of minutes. Then the last game will be against Madagascar later on. But where do you place the Kenya Lionesses in terms of the Africa competition?
No, the Lionesses can actually win the African competition. I mean, but the potential of the Lioness for the SIMBAS, get them test matches. I mean, they played Madagascar here and, you know, run over them. If they get those opportunities, the sky is the limit.
Yes. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've gone through the process of the pre-match analysis. This is Fred Oloz. We're coming to you live at the RFUEA Grounds. If you have an opportunity to make to the RFUEA Grounds, tafadhali, you have the best opportunity to come through for the games this afternoon. But before we step out, on your screen, the coin toss, the Ugandans and the Kenyan captain going through the initial process of just deciding who will be kicking us off in this game. The captain from the Uganda team, that is Brian Oketayot, and of course, George Nyambua from Kabral Sugar, and of course, the Kenya SIMBAS captain. Ladies and gentlemen, we are minutes away from kickoff, and this is an opportunity for you to grab yourselves a better seat, grab yourselves the best seat in the house, and get ready for 80 minutes of nothing but defending Mount Elgon. I've been your host. My name is Walter Orangi. Fred Oloz here, stepping out. See you at full time.
managed to get quite a bit of that, and it was really something that was a key indicator of where the teams are, even as we start off the new season. And you could see clearly from the first quarter of the game that Harlequins were struggling to, Harlequins really had put KCB on the back foot. You will see KCB were trying different formations, different lineups, and it showed in the first quarter of the game where Queens really took it up so strongly. And then you will find that Harlequins just started now coming, KCB started getting into the game. You will see they were getting their chemistry right. And before Harlequins knew it, then they started getting chopped off the game. In the second half, they were literally taken to the cleaners by KCB after they got into the game. So it was a good game to watch and a good indicator of what we were expecting, even because KCB had a couple games in their belt going from the Impala floodlights.
As we catch a glimpse of the fans just settling in, soaking in the atmosphere, the RFUEA Grounds, it's important for us to discuss about the prospects of the Kenya SIMBAS today. This is the first leg of the 2024 Elgon Cup. Where do you see this game in terms of positioning for the Kenya SIMBAS? They've not had so many test matches this year, but something has come home. Where do you look and where do you place the Kenya SIMBAS?
I would say Kenya SIMBAS have, an upper hand. If you look at the games that were played earlier this year in the African Cup, in terms of rankings, Kenya SIMBA managed to finish fourth. They had they beat Senegal in the quarters, then they lost to Algeria in the semis, and then in the third and fourth playoffs they lost to Namibia. If we check their counterparts, their opponents this afternoon, Uganda managed to finish fifth place after losing to Zimbabwe and then beating Burkina Faso in the fifth place semis and then beating Senegal for the fifth place in the African Cup. And then but you look at it, it's really a seesaw game. Looking at the rankings that were released on 4th of November, Uganda just edging Kenya in that ranking. Uganda currently at 36, Kenya just following closely at 37. So in terms of that, you look and you actually know that today's game is a seesaw. It can easily go either way.
Brilliant. As you catch the glimpse of the fans there. We'll be giving you the team list in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. But most importantly, in your view there, the Ugandans already getting ready for that walk into the pitch. It's important, just like you said, this is a very, very important test match for both sides in terms of ranking for the World Rugby positioning. And here is a grand opportunity. No rain, clear weather, perfect conditions for running rugby.
It is. It's what we pray for in terms of wanting to have this game going on. As you even see on the screen, the chairman of the Kenya Rugby Union, Sasha Mutai, just queuing up and waiting for the teams as they come off into the pitch. Indeed, a good day for us. We are looking forward to a running rugby exhibited by both teams, and just going through the brief history of what Kenya and Uganda has been. Kenya and Uganda have faced each other 42 times. First time being in 1958 in Kampala, where Kenya won 21-11. And then, you wouldn't believe it, the next meeting was 39 years later in 1997, where Kenya beat Uganda handsomely 65-8 in that match. 3 more wins later for Kenya, Uganda posted their first victory against Kenya, blanking Kenya in Nairobi before the home fans. That was a match that really shook the foundations of Kenya rugby, and Uganda emerged victors in that 31-22. And it's from that match that the discussions around having an annual friendly, so that gap that happened of 39 years was not something to be seen again. And from then, Elgon Cup was born. You will find that over the years, we've had 17 editions of Elgon Cup being played between the two teams. Kenya currently leading on that scoreboard. They have quite a number of victories there. If you check, they have had on their belts 10 of them, while Uganda has 7 of them. Today, this is the 18th time that both teams kick off the Elgon Cup. We are looking to see who will have the upper hand in the first half. The Elgon Cup is played in a home and away format. This year, the first game for a long time is being played in Kenya. The return match is on the 16th of November, next week in Kampala, even as we queue up for the national anthem, just to give you a sound of what is happening on the pitch as both teams prepare for the national anthem.
Right before that, we'll have a handshake from our dignitaries, both from the Uganda Rugby Union and of course the President
on the screen there you can see the Kenya Rugby Union Chairman Sasha Mutai, together compatriot from Uganda, just going through the paces there, going through the niceties and just giving a handshake to the players who've lined up for this first leg of the 2024 Elgon Cup. As I said earlier, the second leg coming in next weekend in Kampala. Whoever wins this one takes an advantage. Kampala also not a happy hunting ground for Kenya, losing quite a number of matches recently there. Therefore, Kenya SIMBAS will want to start with a win here. Even as you see there, Sasha Mutai just and his compatriot just finishing with that session of introductions. Both teams just going in for the national anthem, starting with Uganda.
Unite.
Thank you so much. Please remain outstanding for the national anthem of Kenya.
Finally, the national anthems of both Uganda and Kenya have been sung. The upstanding crowd here, a lovely crowd that has stand up for this first match of the Elgon Cup 2024 rivalry here. Kenyans and Ugandans both interested in seeing this come back to life. It's been a while. It's been a while since this match has been played in Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, last time being in June 2018. And then in June 2019, that was moved to Kisumu in a match in which Kenya won 17-13. And last year also, same being hosted in Kisumu. This is the first time that the fans have been able to see it here in Nairobi. As you see the lineups there, Kenya Simba, starting with Ephraim Odor and Eugene Sifuna, Will Height Mususi at the front row. The second row, you find Manuel Silungi, Hilary Odhiambo. At the back row, you have George Nyambua Otieno, the captain, together with the debutant Andy Cole coming in for his first game. And then you also have Vincent Misoga packing in at number 8. Brian Wahinya, Barry Young, and Alfred Orege just coming in the back line. Walter Okoth, Tyson Maina, Griffin Chow, Timothy Omela. Kenya just having 3 debutants in Tyson Maina and Griffin Chow too. Uganda also just coming in. Their squad there, quite a mixture of experience. Santos, Jude, Asman Gerwa, who we know from Cabras, Charles Uhuru, Eliphaz Emong, Moses Sizwa, Brian, Jules, Conrad, Aaron, Robin, who is the only debutant in the squad, Eric, Thomas, Shakim, and Joseph packing in. Some of these names are familiar from being here. And we kick off, raising into the sky, the match referee Tinashe Kamwanje from Zimbabwe, taking his second test this day, together with Praise, assistant referee number 1, and Victor Gore from Kenya. Praise also from Zimbabwe. As we see clearly there, Kenyans just being unable to recover from that kickoff. And now Oforo's just looking to clear his lines, clear the Uganda lines deep into Kenya's Simba's half. Kenya Simba have an opportunity early on here to attack. They carry it straight into Uganda's half. A good strong carry there from Timothy Omela.
For Kenya on the break, but losing the ball forward. An opportunity gone begging there. First time in the Uganda half. And losing the ball forward is none other than Jenson Misoga. Ephraim Odor had tipped on that beautiful pass. 1-2 play there through the middle, but losing the ball forward. Scrum opportunity for the Ugandans. Now, Toili, Here is a perfect picture painted on the screen. Fast attacking opportunity for Kenya gone begging, but there is a scrum down for the Ugandans. It's an opportunity to have a glimpse and see what the Ugandans are made of in terms of the set piece.
Yes, indeed. In the first instances when the game is still fresh, you want as many hands as possible to touch the ball. So we're definitely going to see Uganda try to spread the ball out wide and look for any chinks in the armor of Kenya's Simba's defense.
Wanyama feeds the scrum. Conrad Wanyama backpedaling the scrum of Uganda. Uganda retain possession. Kenyans staying strong on defense. The base of that ruck is Conrad Wanyama, but met strongly by the Kenya defense are the locks of the Ugandan side. The free flowing rugby as we anticipate it to be. Timothy Omela receiving the kick. A high boot into the air. Well taken there by the Ugandans, but knocking it forward is Aaron Oforoth. According Kenya, the first scrum in the Uganda half.
Indeed, if you look at that, it was just a pressure kick and a proper chase there. It just made Oforoth to just reconsider his options. And early days here, but just getting the nerves out of his system. He's a fantastic player when he gets going and one to watch. Uganda just selecting to push him out from number 9 to 10 for this match. They're trying to see what they can work around that pairing of the number 9 and 10. And they say it's been ticking in the training sessions. So it's a good one to see for the Uganda technical bench how it goes.
Kenya's initial scrum was a strong scrum. There is another shove. Referee asking the scrum half to get back. No disintegration from the forwards. No advantage play, but eventually the ball is brought out and an opportunity for Kenya to play. Referee allows play to continue. Be carried through the Kenya Simba side. Silungi offloading to Hillary. Hillary, who's met by the Ugandans. Strong defense. An opportunity for Kenya.
Walter Okoth with a clearance there. And Uganda just getting themselves out of the 22 defensive clearance there.
Fast in the line out. Half a meter either side. No tackling the jumper in the air.
On the attack, Brian Wahinya.
All right, that guy was in front. Not rolling away.
An opportunity there for Kenya. The first penalty awarded to the Kenya Simbas. Just looking to settle nerves. Early days for both sides. Bit of scrappy play there, but a strong set piece and an intent to attack. As Barry Robinson seeks the touchline. A successful kick for touch. Kenya now into the Uganda 22-yard area. Eugene Sifuna looking to feed the line out for the opening line out attack for Kenya. A maul drive there for the Kenya Simbas. Ball in play. Manuel Silungi meets Eliphaz Among, and that is definitely a challenge for either of the two.
Strong.
Get on side.
Strong carry there from Kenya Simbas. Just try getting into Uganda's 22 for the first time here, and he goes all the way for Kenya's first try, exploiting the right-hand side of the pitch. Kenya moving to Griffin Chao on debut and scores the first try for Kenya Simbas. The Cabra Sugar player just benefiting from a movement of the ball from Brian Wahinya, just carrying the ball, and their numbers out to the right. Just took it in and is on the score sheet in his first test for Kenya. Good play from Kenya Simbas. Uganda just caught in the mix there. They didn't count the numbers to the right of that rack.
Number 15, line is here.
And Brian Wahinya had the presence of mind to just shift the ball towards the right, even as the shot clock counts down for the conversion. Should be a medical break here. There is a player down being attended to, but he takes over the conversion and just cues it to the left. He says it's Timothy Omela, and the scores remain at 5-0, 6 minutes into the game. Even as we watch there, Barry Young gives a cutout pass out to Griffin Chow, who just slots in, goes in for his first try of the game. Indeed, first touch of the ball, first try, first time he plays for Kenya. All the good signs for Griffin Chow and Kenya SIMBAS.
And that is the captain, Brian Oketayot, having to leave the field, an injury replacement there, early days for Uganda.
I can hear you guys. Yes, yes, yes.
Bit of communication.
Yeah, there seem to be some communication problems. Just referee, just Tinashe trying to get it sorted out to ensure that there's a proper communication. But early on here, just Kenya playing in the right places. Territory counts for a lot, and they are getting rewards for pinning Uganda Cranes in their half. As this goes on, Uganda will just need to be very clinical around their exit play. They'll also need to watch out for any loose play that can be punished. As we saw there, Brian Wahinya just there's a mismatch there. There's a mismatch there between the backs and the forwards, and Kenyans just having more forwards on this side. If you check clearly, you wonder how the setup was on defense there, because it left the prop from Uganda really exposed there. Couldn't chase that down.
Well, the restart is well taken care of there by Tasso Maina. Brian Wahinya just looking to clear.
Taken back.
Ball is taken back into the 22. There goes Timothy Omela with his big boot, finding touch. The referee initially had called that the ball was taken back into the 22-meter area. That means the restart will be just right outside the 22 meters. Line out for Uganda. Line out for Uganda. Looking to feed the line out. Well fought through the air there, Uganda with the possession. Referee blows.
Cut it out.
Penalty awarded to Uganda. That's a high tackle there. Big tackle there from the Kenya SIMBAS for having gone higher than the required tackling area. That is none other than George Otieno. Uganda with a decision to make, and they opt to go for 3 points. Kicking us off, trying to register some points on the scoreboard for the Ugandans. That is Robin Philip Odra. Attempted goal, sails wide. Scores remain Kenya 5, Uganda 0.
Robin Philip Odra just coming in on debut for the Cranes, and he's an exciting player, he's an exciting talent that the Ugandans are trying to put him into the system. But with that kick, scores remain 5-0 in favor of Kenya SIMBAS.
22-meter dropout. Well taken care of there by the Ugandans. A straight pass there, going to nobody by Conrad Wanyama, looking to catch the Kenyans napping. A long kick. Barry Robinson just waits and grounds the ball. That is a goal line wristed.
Taken back in.
Clearly a goal line wristed.
Behind the line, behind the kicker.
Did Uganda just trying to ensure that they pin Kenya back and just look for any mistakes that they can punish.
I'm not so sure about that decision. I mean, the ball didn't go dead in goal. The ball was grounded by the Kenyans. Ideally, in the new rules, that is a goal line drop. I'm not so sure about what made the decision for the referee. But meanwhile, Uganda making another foray into the Kenyan half. Straight pass.
Over here, coming in on the side.
Coming in on the side, clearly by the referee. Uganda awarded yet another
Not coming in.
opportunity, a grand opportunity to at least land at least 3 points to him.
Yeah, and you're right in the sense that once mistakes start coming in, especially by SIMBAS in their half, then the 3 points now start becoming something that they need to get worried about. This is a second shot at the post for Uganda CRANES. If they get it in, they are back into this game. And just a clear indicator that in the battle for territory, just shaving it a bit now against Kenya since they scored that try. Even as it starts just having some light drizzle, ball handling, the wet ball will come into play, and territory then becomes very important for both teams. Second attempt by Robin Philip Odrua, as he lines it up more to the right of the posts. This time he takes it low, still misses it. Second shot in front of the post, quite a bit hard for a right-footed kicker towards the right, but this one should have sailed through Walter.
Yes, indeed, it should have sailed through. They have had 2 spectacular opportunities to take the lead. That is 3 points multiplied by 2, and losing those opportunities. Kenya would count themselves lucky. Ideally, they should be trailing by 6-5. However, time for the Kenyans to play away from their own half. Joseph Aredo hoofs it back to the Kenyans. Brian Wahinya in support. There is Barry Robinson, number 11, Alfred Orege, taking it straight to the Ugandans. And a massive, massive tackle. Brian Wahinya recycles the ball, coming in to the open side. You have Hilary Odhiambo taking contact. A hint of isolation, but the referee allows play to continue. Asks the Ugandans to leave the ruck. Barry passing it out to Tyson to George Nyambua on the outside channels. That is Timothy Omela offloading back to Griffin Chao, but losing the ball forward. That is another opportunity gone begging to him.
Yeah, I mean, good play from Kenya SIMBAS. Their efficiency with possession is quite impressive. They have been able to move and shift all the way into Uganda CRANES 22, but just that loose offload. Griffin Chao probably not anticipating it, and they just knocks it on and brings a cropper to that attacking phase by Kenya SIMBAS, but promising whenever they have ball, moving it from end to end, exploiting the whole width of the pitch and stretching Uganda's defense, even as you see players just huffing and puffing after that, those phases of play.
I mean, it's 13 minutes into the game. The conditions, you wouldn't say it's hot or is it cold. So the two sets of teams just nicely getting into this fixture. However, Kenya, having scored a try, have lost an opponenty there to score their second try. But it's time for them to defend the scrum. And there are very many ways of defending this one from the opponent's half. You either hold your scrum or you actually try and attempt to go for a penalty. I think the Kenyans are capable of doing that too.
Indeed, in these few scrums that you've seen, I believe this is the third one. It's been really a net effect. No one just putting their hands up. There's not been any dominance from both teams, and I think as the game goes on and fatigue starts coming in and just teams getting their things in order, then we can see who has an upper hand in this set piece. But as of now, I think CRANES just looking to exit. They wouldn't want to be here. This is a danger, red zone for them, right in their 22, a defensive scrum.
Conrad feeds the scrum. Pius again coming from the number 8 channel, but well met there by Walter Call through the middle part of the field. A mess at the breakdown, players going off their feet, and the referee awarding a penalty to the Ugandans.
Yeah, Walter, of course, coming in strongly, initiating the counter-rack, but he went off it, and the arriving players, just to support him in that rack, also didn't find any resistance and went off it. And in this game today, that is penalized.
Kick, non-meeting touch. There goes Griffin Chow, cycling the ball back to the fullback, that is Timothy Omela. Timothy to Barry to Tyson to Walter scanning through the midfield, just looking for spaces, looking for those idle, weak runners through the middle of the Uganda side. Manuel Silungi goes in and is isolated, and that is a clear penalty to the Ugandans. Halfway on the pitch, they've had a shorted goal not once but twice. Here's an opportunity for them to kick for touch.
Yeah, and I mean, Kenya just guilty of not defending that track properly. They had numbers out to the right. Uganda defense was just coming in slowly, and they were in 7s and 6s. If that ball had left hand from that track, then it would have been a different story. But give it to Ugandans for hanging in there and coming right back at Kenya, pinning them back in their 22. It's one of the first lineouts in this game. We're just trying to see what the Cranes have in store for SIMBAS.
Get back, 10 meters.
Let's have a glimpse of the line out, whether it functions for Uganda. Picked off at the tail there by the tall Ugandans, starring over the Kenyans. Elfa Zemong with a big carry, setting the platform for an open side attack, and another massive tackle there. Referee allows play to continue. Could easily have been called as a high tackle, but the referee allows, having seen that it wasn't. Joseph Oredo passing it back.
Roll away. Let's switch it.
Kenya looking to defend their 22-meter area. Strong tackle there by Griffin Chow. Another chop, ankle tackle there. Conrad Wanyama shifting it back to Joseph Oredo. Joseph Oredo on the outside channels, looking for his flanker. Conrad quickly recycles it back to the center. Conrad once again shifting it, and goes back to the front row. That is none other than Santos Senteza, taking no prisoners.
Yeah, indeed, huge collisions coming in here, and Uganda just trying to go the route one. Kenyan defense holding strong.
Number 6.
Another penalty awarded to the Kenyans. A quick tap there by Aaron Offerworth. But Brian Wahinya having none of that. Well, the penalty count for the Kenyans, it is a problem for the Kenyans. Once the Ugandans get into their 22 or probably into their own half, there is that sense of lack of discipline, and this could really cost the Kenyans.
Yeah, I mean, there is need for discipline. There is need not to panic. Their ranks are holding steady in defense. And there's no need to go for the 50-50 turnovers, especially when you're in your 22. The ref tends to judge that against you if you're not so clearly over the ball.
And in this case, some of the referees, the fans are always refereeing the game, so those are some of the referees in your picture there as the Ugandans opt to go for the posts. Third time they say is a charm. You think the Ugandans are going to learn this?
Yeah, you see they have decided and changed the kickers. I think the moment got to the debutant Robin Philip Odrua, and they have decided to go to Joseph Aredo, who used to play here for Harlequins, and they have decided to go and just try. Those were easy kickable points that they missed. Two attempts at the posts, but with the new kicker, let's see what happens, because then Kenya will find themselves under pressure.
It is an opportunity for the Ugandans, and as the penalty count keeps piling up, I mean, from the coaching perspective, what do you think the Kenyans will be looking at in terms of correcting as they miss that penalty attempt?
They just need to be disciplined and patient in defense. They have not really been put under the couch in terms of pressure in their 22. This fast attack, sustained pressure, first play by Uganda, they were able to sustain their defensive structure. but that one moment when they went for a 50-50 turnover and missed it, then they were penalized. Uganda just struggling with the kicks at posts. This early in the first quarter of the game. I mean, something that the technical bench will just have to look at and see what can happen, because those are 9 points left on the table.
Yeah, definitely counting the losses. 22-meter restart. Barry goes long. Uganda fielding the restart really well. Eliphaz Among met by none other than Hilary Odhiambo. That is an ankle tackle. Hint of a turnover there for the Kenyans. But quickly, once again, smuggled back by the referee, having called that as a turnover. Ball not coming out of the base of that track. There's an opportunity there for the Kenya Simbas to exit their half. They've been playing deep in their own half these opening minutes of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. In your picture there, as the melee at the rack area led to that scrum. Referee allowing play to continue and eventually giving a scrum to the Kenya Simbas. It has been a very strong platform for the Kenya Simbas, the scrum, and I mean, it's time either for them to use it as a weapon to play or clear their lines. First and foremost, the job has to be done. The ball has to be fed in rightfully, and of course, there you go.
Yeah,
that is the commentator's curse.
Yeah, indeed, coming in quickly on that scrum down, and I mean, Uganda just taking their chances quite well, retaining possession, but they are not clinical in terms of how they are able to convert those chances. They've had a bigger share of possession. They need to do better with this now.
I don't know if Roth opts to go to the air. The skies are open. Timothy Omela getting the ball and calling the mark, allowing the play to come to a standstill. The Kenyans in that last scrum were eager because they feel that they are quite strong in terms of the scrummaging, and were quite eager and looking forward to really, shoving the Ugandans and missing the mark and missing the gun at that point.
Yeah, so far the backline has been able to utilize the set-piece balls, and I think that was just one that just got away from them. But going forward, I mean, they have a lot of opportunities. Game is still just running in the numbers as they look to play a territory game here. Both teams just not wanting to camp in their halves and butchering that one. Oforio then surviving and just launching a counter attack here with numbers going for the grabber kick. Wahinya just in time to rescue the situation there for the Simbas, and they reset and look to exit. Both teams just trying to play possession rugby and territory here, kicking away most of the possession, just not doing justice with the ball in hand. Both teams now just counter punching here and just seeing who makes a mistake in their half. So far, Kenya made a lot of mistakes that have gone unpunished by Uganda in their own half.
Retreat!
As the ping pong just continues here. This time they elect to run it, but the pass is wild, goes to deck. Ref says play on, and just benefiting from that, and is off to the races here, taking on his men, has 2 men to beat. Third man goes in, he will need his support to arrive squad. Wahinya just being there on time. Patience is required here from the Simbas. They're in prime territory here. Just 18 meters away there. Looks like a turnover. Spilling the ball in contest there. Andy Cole on debut, just spilling the ball, and Uganda survive that one and recover it. Another chance goes begging for the Simbas when they're in prime territory, 10 meters from CRANES try line.
All right, that ball.
5 meters away from the try line, of course. Another chance gone begging there for the Kenya Simbas, putting that down to a very staunch defensive line from the Ugandans. These two sides.
They had a good scramble defense on that one, because really Timothy Omela was all gone.
Half a meter either
Now on this
side,
attack, the previous attack, Aaron Offeruth doing so well to keep the ball in play, eventually clearing the lines. But here is a break from the Kenya Simbas. That is Timothy Omela from the Menengai Oilers running straight at the Ugandans. There was an opportunity. Brian Wahinya was alone at that ruck, but well done there for the Kenya Simbas, protecting that precious little bit of possession, recycling the ball and eventually losing the ball forward. But here's another grand opportunity, a penalty just a couple of meters away from the 22-meter area. Looking for touch. The Kenya Simbas find touch successfully. It's time now for a maul.
Yes, first of the game. I mean, it's obvious that that's one of the options they have from this line out. And just, you know, first opportunity you get in a line out short of your opponent's try line, you look to maul it and just test to see if it's a weapon that you can use for the rest of the game. And I think that's why you see all in from the Simbas in this line out.
Well, the line out has a few faces. You have to feed the ball in straight, contestable. Kenyans go to the tail of their line out. The ball is perfectly set. Time now to rumble forward. Ugandans with Elifazamong. You can see Elifazamong coming round and not going through the required gate. An advantage play there for the Kenya Simbas. Walter Okoth with a big carry, shagging and shrugging off the Uganda defensive line. The Kenya lose it forward yet again. Lucky enough for them, they had an advantage, a penalty advantage from that infringement from the line out. Most definitely, they'll be going back for that route yet again.
Yeah, really hate Mususi just looking for his options before the ball arrived and took his eye off the ball and just led to that knock-on. Kenya Simbas just need to be patient here. They have survived quite a bit, not being punished for the mistakes they made in their own half. This is one of the few times that they have come back into Uganda's territory, the 22. And they're electing just to go for the same move. A retake of the line-out, a retake of the maul. The previous line-out, we saw them not shoving at the first instance, just to ensure that there is no sack of that line-out, which is a good tactic. And then now starting to rumble from there.
The Ugandans are waiting, the Kenyans definitely knowing that they'll be going for that shove at the line-out time. And a maul that is moving forward. Ugandans looking to defend this one, but it is a try.
And indeed, Kenya Simbas going over the whitewash for the second try of the game. Really looking at it, it was coming. Warning signs were there from the first maul. Kenya Simbas successful in that one. CRANES just trying to slow down this one, attempting a sack at the first time that Kenya got the line out, but Kenya were wise to it, not taking the shove quite early. And when they started going, it was just a matter of time before Jinson Bisoga goes down over the whitewash for Kenya's second try. Good reward, confident call there to go for the line out instead of the 3 points, and they are well rewarded. Simbas are well rewarded. Now slowly but surely putting a distance between themselves and their opponents. CRANES. Another two to come from Timothy Omela as he attempts the conversion. Sails it high to the skies and flags go up. Additional 2 points. Really clinical in those kicks for posts, something that the Uganda kickers will be envious about, missing 3 penalties. But in this case, just seeing Kenyans being patient in that scrum, in that maul, slowly and surely making yardage, and finally they have a weapon that they can utilize for the rest of the game. Euphorious with a restart for Ugandans. CRANES as they chase this 12-0 lead by Kenyans. Wahinya just immediately sending them back into their half with an exit kick. Good attack there from Tagra, and now they are well into Kenya's half. Good face of play there as he cut through.
That's it there.
Conrad Wanyama.
Conrad Wanyama just cut through Kenya's defense.
Hint of an overlap here for the Ugandans if they shift this ball, but covered there by the Kenyans. Now, that is a glimpse of what Conrad Wanyama is able to do, just slicing through that defensive line, the Kenyan SIMBAS defensive line, and a big clearance there by Eliphaz Among, former teammates at Kabra Sugar, now meeting for their respective national teams. Uganda on the attack.
Get on side.
Conrad, back to Eliphaz. Eliphaz looking to empty the tank in this first half.
That's it.
Referee asks the players to roll away. Aaron to Pius. Pius Ogena, big carry through there. Aaron playing scrum half duty. Usually a scrum half for the national team, and finding himself there. Sentenza well handled by the Kenya SIMBAS. The base of the ruck is Conrad Wanyama. Uganda looking for that opportunity to catch the Kenyans offside and play from there. Quick ball shifted to the outside channels. There goes Joseph, beg your pardon, number 13 for the Ugandans. Thomas Gwokto, another Ugandan sevens player, now playing straight with the Uganda Cranes, the 15-a-side team. Aaron Offerworth to Eliphaz. Eliphaz once again. Eliphaz has had an opening half. He's had really a good opening half in terms of the carries, taking Uganda forward. There goes Aaron Offerworth taking hands and taking matters into his own hands. Referee playing an advantage, the one the Ugandans have been asking and waiting for. Ball is launched into the air. Ugandans successfully get their ball at the base of that truck. Pius Ogena looking to take Uganda forward, making their foray into the 5-meter area of the Kenya defensive line. The Kenyans short on the outside channels. Walter Okoth tackling high. Referee playing yet another advantage. Two advantages. Now time for the referee to have a few words. A quickly tapped penalty. No waiting for the Ugandans and a double blast for the referee. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you have to admire how Uganda Cranes have come back into this one. They have upped the ante. You know, they have just taken the game some few more miles per hour faster. And at the end of it all, Kenya's defense just being caught flat-footed, being caught in 6s and 7s, gaps opening, and whenever Uganda players just straighten through, it becomes a big deal for the Kenyan defense. At the end of it, three successive advantages being played for penalties. It was a risky time for the Kenyans, and at the end of it all, a yellow card for repeated infringement. I mean, those were almost like 12 faces by the Cranes, just showing how adept they are at ball retention, ensuring that as they go into contact, they are able to secure their racks, and also the speed at which they bring the ball from the racks makes Kenya's not being able to just realign in defense. As they carry it to the right there, and this one looks like a try, and indeed it is. Strong carry there from the base of that scrum. Pius Ogena goes over for Uganda's first try. It was always coming. Ever since Kenya scored that second try, Uganda have come out guns blazing, pinning Kenya back, playing fast rugby, playing very clinical rugby. Just look at the way he stepped back, left Walter there in 2 minds, and there was no cross-cover defense. Kenyan back row caught napping there. Dinson Misoga, Andy Cole and George Nyambua not alive to that cutback from Pius Ogena. Uganda hit 5.
Well, it had to take a few penalties for Uganda to actually land the first try. They've really missed a lot of points in this first half. One would really wonder what it would have been if they had converted all the opportunities as the conversion sails through for the Ugandans. Bring the score, ladies and gentlemen, to Kenya. SIMBAS 12, Uganda Cranes 7.
Finally, the Cranes have a kicker. That's the third one, Shakim Sembusi, and he was successful with that conversion.
Do you want to take it here or where there's a better drop? Yeah, I'm the kicker.
Cannot take up cannot take a break from this one. That was just some fantastic display of rugby by Uganda, and they are right back into this game.
Definitely right back, as you say. Tuck back into play. Remember, Kenya down to 14. Brian Wahinya looking for Wilward Mususi.
Roll away, Black.
Be carried through the middle there. There's something about these forwards. They just throw their weight around to you. And there's an intercept ball taken there by the Ugandans. That's a lucky break. It was either a yellow card or the intercept.
Yes, it was all or nothing for him. Just lucky that he was able to curtail Kenya's attack.
That was Joseph Aredo, former Kenya Harlequins, of course, now playing for the Uganda Cranes. Uganda playing in their own half, 10 meters away from the halfway line. Joseph Aredo passing it out to Eliphas. Eliphas finding out the outside man, Gwokto. Gwokto on the attack. Gwokto looking for the outside man. And passing it back to number 14 of the Ugandan side. None other than, ladies and gentlemen, that is Shakim Sembusi. Senteza, big carry there. And well met by Eugene Sifuna, repulsing that attack from the Ugandans. They had an overlap and opting to go high.
Yeah, and he just took a predetermined move.
But there you go. The numbers still in the picture for the Ugandans. Big bump off there for the Ugandans. Uganda looking to take a quick tap and play as they continue this attacking opportunity. Referee calling play back to the initial infringement. That is an advantage play for the Ugandans. The referee will be giving a penalty to the Ugandans. Indiscipline, Tioli. Indiscipline is what is really muffling and making sure that the Kenyans are not away from the Ugandans at least.
Yeah, and the Ugandans, credit to them, they have come into this game, their confidence is up, they've realized that they're able to take on Kenya's defense, they're doing quite a number of moves. You know, you see them taking it, carrying it short, taking it wide, they are good with their hands, and suddenly Kenya's defense is being tested. They just been able to survive these attacks, but as it goes on this way, they will just have too much to do.
Because really, as you've rightly pointed it out, there is so many penalties that are being given to the Ugandans, and this is one of those areas that you cannot play with in terms of awarding opportunities to the opponents. And here you go, having known that they are 15 versus 14, they're definitely looking to pull in the forwards and of course play on the outside channels. That means the Kenya SIMBAS will have to either play 7 v8 at scrum time, or they'll have to pull in a backline player to come and fill the scrum so that they're not shoved and give away those penalties that they're giving away. So it's an opportunity for the Ugandans.
Victor, watch this side.
Kenya has opted clearly in the picture to go with a 7 v8 lineup, and that means the Ugandans have sort of an opportunity to go at this scrum, but it's time for us to see what they're made of. And there you go, the Ugandans making good of that threat. Shifting the ball back to the midfield, and a clear run. And a clear run for the Ugandans.
Thomas Gwokto slicing through Kenya's defense on a cutback move there. He came in short and goes unattended to all the way to score Uganda's second try. I mean, they're deserving of this try. They have exhibited some confidence, some strong play, some decisive play. Just looking back at that, the forwards with just a show of hands and coming in at a cutback. Thomas goes all the way center post try. Very popular try here for the Ugandans who have come to watch their team. Kenya just struggling with the sin bin there. As you can see, short on numbers. That means that the defenders are always looking over their back. And this is a match that we were looking for. This is just typical of a Kenya versus Uganda derby. For just the inside defenders unable to put in their shoulders on that one. Wahinya just left scrolling on the ground there. And Uganda are just right back into this. Kenya have it to do all in the second half.
Behind the kicker.
Conversion being successful, ladies and gentlemen. Uganda set the lead. Current score, Uganda 14. Kansas 12.
Barry Young kicking us off as Uganda hit the front of this match for the first time, having trailed at 12-0 at some point. They hit the front 14-12. Kenyans know they have something in their hands to play for here.
Well, there is a game, as you rightly pointed it out. Kenyans giving the Ugandans an opportunity once, twice, thrice. And that exactly means that the Kenyans were definitely going to fall back at some point, and Uganda making true of their threat and going over for that try that takes them into the lead.
It's the pace at which the Cranes are playing the game right now that is testing the SIMBAS and just making their defense not being able to realign fast enough. They are keeping their racks very fast, and they're utilizing the numbers out wide. I like just the way they are able to vary their attack right at the center. Strong carries from their forwards. Just being able to ensure that Kenyans have no opportunity to call in numbers to realign their defense. Definitely one team that is finishing this game with momentum, the Uganda Cranes. As we take a break in play, one of the Uganda Cranes players is down, injured, and being attended to. A good opportunity, even just as we go into the halftime, for Kenya SIMBAS to just look at what they need to do better. You see on your camera there, Joseph Aredo getting some treatment and is back up, back into the fray. Emery starting there with a line out over the top ball to Barry, who just spins.
Number 5, stay.
Elects to go into Uganda's 22. Successful call there by Joseph. Holds it on the mark. Just gives his team a breather.
Yes, we're good to go. We've got 15 seconds to play.
Tinashe just sharing some information about timings there. They can't put it out without Kenya getting an opportunity to attack.
This will be the last movement. Gentlemen, this will be the last movement.
Kenya have an opportunity here just to finish strongly. If they can even take a penalty out of the next phases of play, they can close this half strongly, going into the ascendancy, but they have to get this set piece right.
Stay!
Good retention there by Silungi.
Number 4, offside.
Barry with a carry there. Already advantage being played for SIMBAS. Charles Uhuru being penalized for being offside from that phase of play. And they look to go back for the penalty, which gives SIMBAS the opportunity to go for the posts or go for the line out. They had a successful maul earlier on in the game. As you can see there, it is something that they can utilize. Very few visits, I mean, equal in terms of visits into the opponent's 22 there by both teams. But now Kenya with an opportunity for the line out and the maul.
The line out over there. Yes. 10 meters.
This has to be very clinical, very accurate. And another move, just moving the ball out to Walter Okoth.
Roll away.
As
Go
a strong
side.
carry in the middle of the pack, there in the middle of the field. That was a forward any day. And that brings to a halt this first half, you will think. And indeed, Tinashe Kamwenje, referee from Zimbabwe, calls it halftime as Uganda Cranes lead 14-12. And Kenyans at home in Nairobi, all to do in the second half as we go into the break.
No, she was like, there was no line.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is halftime. Joined by the RFUEA Grounds. The halftime score: Uganda Cranes 14, Kenya SIMBAS 12. Director Reniski. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the bird's eye view of Nairobi. It is halftime right here at the RFUEA Grounds. A slim lead for the Uganda Cranes. Looks. What do you make of the first half?
Kenya started well, started physically, started quite strong on contact, looked really good on defense. But Uganda has grown slowly back into the game by having these nippy movements, a lot more agile and that type of thing. So the momentum is on Uganda's side at the moment, but this is more a matter of us getting our action back from the halfback plays and so on and so forth. Because it doesn't look like anybody is directing the play at the moment.
Yeah, speaking of the play, Kenya started off well, 2 quick tries. It was an opportunity for Kenya to actually pile more pressure, but they've been giving away needless penalties in their own half, and eventually they were 1 man down at some point in that game. What do you make of that indisciplined start for the Kenya Simbas?
You know, there are issues there. In fact, had it been that Uganda had converted 3 easy conversions, this would be a different story. It would be more than a one-score situation. But now we have a situation in which we're just 2 points down. It's still very winnable, it's still very contestable, but all the decision-making right at the back and off the kick chases are just not good enough. We need to get better at this.
There you go, the highlights of the first half. There was Griffin Chow going over for the opening try. It led to the Kenyans actually settling in and hoping that this would continue, but that was not to be. Look at that, Brian Wahinya offloading the ball to Barry Robinson, and of course, Griffin Chow making his test debut, earning his first test for the Kenya Simbas. What have you made of his first half play?
Griffin Chow?
Yes, Griffin Chow.
Yeah, Griffin Chow's first touch of the ball was a try. That's a sort of a debut that you call a dream debut for a winger. So very happy for him. But I mean, there's still need for the backfield having a bit more communication so that we can see ourselves getting much more counter-attacking from the back, or even the support of the counter-attack plays.
The second try on the screen there as Jenson Misoga dived over for the second try for the Kenya Simbas. I mean, Kenya piling pressure. They had an opportunity through the line out. It worked for them. But then from that line out move, nothing seems to have worked in terms of the physical play for the Kenyans.
I mean, I think the mole formation needs to be a lot quicker. It needs to be a lot neater. It seems that we are sort of scrambling immediately after we get the ball off the line out. We could get a lot better than we are doing at the moment. That mole is one of the weapons that we suppose that Kenya had coming into this game. And indeed, we really need to get those field positions where we can become a little more threatening.
Eventually, Uganda got over the try line for the opening try. That was none other than Pius Ogena going around the defensive line. That is a eight-man peak for the Ugandans. Pius Ogena and the Ugandans, the forwards have really had a balanced first half. What do you have to say for the Ugandans?
Yes, I mean, the Ugandans, I mean, we always expected them to bring a tight 5 play. Sentonga has been very good at his carries. And there we have the try that was just simply amazing. Quick movements, and we needed to load the defense a bit. Remember, we were 1 man down, and therefore, so I mean, the number counting became a problem. And here we are, a fantastic punching try off center play.
Straight running, earning Uganda their second try. More of that, hopefully, in the second half for the Ugandans. Now, speaking of where this game will be won, where do you think both the Kenya Simbas and the Ugandans will do, or what will they do in the second half for them to win this one?
Uganda needs to just keep playing quick ball like they're doing right at the moment. They need to get the ball behind the quick, pacey backs on the counter-attack. I mean, the numbers will eventually count. Kenya needs to start stamping the authority and playing quicker off that base so that we can keep getting front football. And then now it's anybody's game in the back 3 where we have some really good finishers.
Now, talking about the second half, we have very solid benches on both sides. Uganda have a solid bench, and the Kenyans also have a solid bench. Now, tweaking something for the Kenyans, what do you think the coaches have to tweak for them to be able to, first and foremost, play in the right areas, and secondly, curb the mistakes that they're doing in terms of awarding penalties to the Ugandans?
No, this is just a matter of discipline. I mean, Nyambua needs to also read the riot act, because, I mean, those penalties are not helping. They're making the tactical play so much more difficult at the moment, because, I mean, we have the Ugandans pinning Kenyans back all the time. So a little bit more discipline is definitely something that must be on the cards for the technical and tactical team. And indeed, what we now must see is the ball getting out of that contact phase much quicker, and guys returning to action a lot quicker, because we are getting a good double hit, but the return to play is a lot slower than we need it.
There has been a slight hint of many overlaps, and if Uganda were really using those overlaps, they would have punished Kenya so much. There is that idea of compression through the midfield for the Kenya defensive side. Many numbers going into the either breakdown area or the defensive line. That has to be something that the Kenyans have to look at in second half.
Yeah, we need to fold a lot quicker. The backfield communication needs to be a lot quicker, even on the kick, because it seems that the Ugandans are getting more numbers behind. Every time there's a chase of the kick, either back or in front, so we need to work that out.
All right, thank you so much. It has been our halftime interview break, and ladies and gentlemen, we hand you over to Tioli, who's on the other side of the studio for the second half commentary. And of course, the halftime score, Uganda 14, Kenya 12.
Captain Red, Captain Black, right, always behind the kicker.
Welcome back to the second half of this first fixture of the Elgon Cup 2024, being hosted here in the capital city of Kenya, Nairobi. Currently, Uganda Cranes leading 14-12.
Yes, inside.
Return fixture will be next weekend in Kampala, Uganda, and all to play for in this second half as we look at who will have the ascendancy at the end of this game. First half saw a lot of very strong start from Kenya SIMBAS, but they drifted off as Uganda came back strongly in the second half of that match, of that first half, eventually leading to the end of it.
Half a meter
Carry
inside,
there.
straight lines. 10 meters and 10.
As the Uganda Cranes set themselves up for the
Hold up.
line
All right,
out, and
open up here, open up.
center referee Tinashe
That's easy.
Kamwenja from
Let's have it.
Zimbabwe in his second test is trying to call to order things there. That throw was skewed towards Simba's side, but they were not able to take advantage of it.
That's it, yeah.
Cranes just slowly getting into this game, controlling issues as the first half ended there. Now they're back.
Retreat,
Play for territory
Now
here,
onside.
trying to put their both teams just trying to ensure that they play in the right zones. That's why you see a lot of kicking into each other's halves. This one just goes straight into the try box.
So we got 22, right?
Yeah, the ping pong is Toili, and we will expect that whoever comes off the bet side of this one will definitely be the winner of this one.
Behind the kicker.
We seem to have gotten back to that situation where there's test. This is a 14-12 match.
Yeah, and
Black,
as you can
retreat,
see,
retreat.
Aaron there just pinning back instructions are very clear. You can see it from the way they play that we are not playing in our half. And in this case, Kenya
Look
Simbas
at
just
yourself. Straight off your feet.
just
Straight
coming
off
into
your
that
feet. Stand
rack
on your
and
feet.
guilty of just going off feet, feeling the pressure there in that
Straight on your
rack.
feet.
Tinashe just penalizing Simbas for going off feet and stopping a fair contest in that rack. And an opportunity here for the Uganda Cranes to add another 3 points as they elect to go for the posts. Although same script as the first half.
Yeah, this discipline has to improve. It's something that we talked about at halftime. And see, if you don't use the tactical discipline, and you can see this is a game of inches, it's going to be a problem. In fact, Kenya is a little lucky that 3 penalties down have been missed.
Indeed, Kenya would have been trailing by more points there as the ball sails high and through. Another successful conversion from Shakim Sembusi, the man who took over the kicking duties after the first 2 players were unable to do so. Just ensuring that they start stretching the lead. They start stretching the lead here against Kenya Simbas. Kenya Simbas now really have to change tact here and try and ensure that they are very clinical with ball in hand, finding themselves in a bit of trouble here. As we see now coming into play here, another strong carry from Santos, taking the ball out to the left there, just resetting there, but he comes against a crunching tackle from Griffin Chow.
Was it high or not?
Suspicion of it being high, but looks like a fair legal tackle that brought to a screeching halt. As you see there, Griffin just getting better of his opposite number, Shakim Sembusi. And indeed, the assistant referee calls it for a high tackle, penalty conceded by Kenya Simbas. And they are brought back all the way into their 22.
Yeah, this
warning times here for Kenya Simbas.
This is what we were talking about at halftime. This is what we were.
Stay. That's it. Roll away, Red.
Uganda Cranes carrying it very well into contact there. Aaron just comes up with a move, and his opposite number, Bryson Bariang, just puts him down to deck. Gets penalized for holding on. He isolated himself, and the contest was real on the ground there, losing and giving possession back to the Simbas. As you watch there, a shot on him by Bariang, and the first arriving player was successful in contesting it. The captain himself, George Nyambua.
Did they confirm it? What is that?
Forwards and so on and so forth, because it's been a bit, I mean, we sort of have lost our way somewhat.
Kenyans lucky with that one, and they're able to get the ball down and start using one of their potent weapons, their mauls.
Get onside! Get onside!
Taking it and slowly just going just 10 meters.
Get onside!
And indeed, and slowly now referee just penalizes them for bringing down the maul, and will be some yellow card coming through here. Nonetheless, the Kenya Simbas referee calls no advantage and brings them back to the spot. Kenya very successful in their maul so far. Cranes just guilty of bringing down the maul, stopping a potential try for the Simbas. What do they do here? Barry puts it into touch, and now Kenya with an opportunity to hit back. If they get this right.
Yeah, that last maul was now a lot more structured, the way you want Kenya to do their thing. Uganda being forced to bring it down, just so that, and we are back there.
Successful line out there, and Kenya at the end of it trying to shove. They're over the try line. Is it gonna be a try, or is it
There is ball.
No visibility of the ball there. The referee tries to dig in and see. And finally calls it for a try. The end of it will be Brian Wahinya with a try there for Kenya Simbas. The hit back to draw this game using their most potent weapon so far, the maul.
Yeah, the maul was always going to be one of the go-to facets of play, and it's beginning to show. Wahinya with good eyes there to score for Kenya, what is definitely a critical try.
Yes, and indeed, Brian Wahinya coming back to play in his favorite position. He's been packing at fly half for his club for the whole of the last season, being chosen here to take up the number 9 jersey, and he's at the end of that to bring the scores tied, 17 all. What a second half that we're looking forward to. Another attempt for the extra 2 points by Timothy Omela, and he's been successful so far with his kicks, quite accurate. As he concentrates there and just takes all the time on the clock.
Looking good.
Looks to be sailing through. The fans are up, an extra 2 points, and Kenya hit the lead in this match, 19-7.
This Omela story is a remarkable one. He spent most of last season not playing for his club, Oilers, and only came back right at the end for Super Series, and you can see his form is beginning to look good.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything that will save Kenyans in this particular match, it will be his boot, and they need to put it in good use by ensuring they play in the right territory. As Aaron Oforio just kicks us off. Raises the ball high in the sky, and the good reception there. No one got hold of him, and he's off. Jinson Mwisoga goes all the way, brushing tacklers left and right.
Not held.
Good territory gained here by Kenya Simbas as they attack Uganda Cranes short of numbers. If this can be a first ball, then Uganda Cranes will find themselves in trouble, and indeed they are. There's a penalty coming here, but numbers out to the left. No float here and knocked on. It came into the attentions of Robin Philip Odrua, who just got the man and the ball, and it spilled. But there was an advantage for offside after the very quick racks by Kenya Simba.
Yes, I thought that was a situation for a bit more straight running and commit and pass, and you know, the 1-1, the standard 1-1-1 play, we couldn't execute it. But well, here we are with a penalty, and that might just be what we need to inch our noses ahead.
Yes, Fred Olos, even as we look at the decisions being taken here by Kenya Simbas, and they elect to go for the posts. Substitutions being brought in, changes being ringed around, and coming on for Kenya Simbas. We find Obat Kuke coming in together with Ibrahim Ayo.
What are we doing? Okay.
Managed to do the exits, and Andy Cole, who was on debut straight from the Bathurst Cup with victory and the under-20 fixtures. Good outing for him. But Kuke, the one-man army as he is known locally, is coming in to put his shift. Kenya electing to go for the maul, not a surprise, leaving the 3 points.
Not surprising at all. Not surprising at all.
Referee calls to a stop that line out. Just waiting to hear what could have been the problem with that one. I think Uganda was still bringing in changes, substitutions, and Kenyans were just too eager to go for that line out. Changes being made, 3 players coming in for Uganda Cranes. Santos Senteza just exiting there, together with Jude Juko, the prop and the hooker, together with Asman Mugerwa. Coming in there, of course, Edward Emiemu, Sol Kivumbi, Collins Kimboa. Ugandan skin on just ensuring that they maintain strength in their forwards.
Yeah, Sol Kivumbi has also played his rugby in Kenya, and so...
Stay, come!
Yes, indeed, and Kenyans just repulse a bit there, but they need to be patient with this maul. Looking for numbers to his right there. Makes the decision to go there. Brian Wahinya cuts back in and goes over the whitewash for his second successful try. He identified and made that decision quite early enough he saw the numbers and the Uganda defense was split. They were outnumbered. And that's when he took advantage and stepped back in for his second try of the game.
Brian Waina is having a whale of a time back at his usual position. You can see the instincts are quite right.
And he has the right body frame. He has strength in that body frame to be able to take on the forwards there. Once he stepped back in, the defense was caught napping. No cross-cover defense. And he goes down for 5 points.
I'd be happy if you would control these boys a little more. Maybe that's where eventually Onsong is going to make a difference. But as an individual player, he's so far come through for us, and we can expect more of this type of thing, with these snipes around the base, and we haven't seen a lot of that in the Kenyan game lately.
No, we haven't. We haven't. It's been really a lot of shifting the ball to the decision maker at 10, and it's good to see Brian Wahinya mixing it up at the base of the set pieces, keeping the defenders honest, really.
And here is Omela for the kick.
Sails up and looks like it missed the target, and indeed it has. Scores remain 24-17 to Uganda. And suddenly, as you look there, he just identified, caught in two minds there. Pius Ogena.
He had Ogena on the step, and there was no recovery.
Yeah.
Now this kickoff is definitely going to be quite important for Kenya.
Yeah, most of the time you need to steady ship immediately after you scored and hit the front. It's a coach killer when teams just make mistakes immediately after scoring. But in this instance,
Use it.
SIMBAS are able to just steady this rack. As the Tinashe, the center referee, calls for a use it. Good kick there by Brian. All the way to Uganda Cranes, who are feeling under pressure here, and they decide to run. They have stopped going for the territory and trying to go back to what worked best for them in the first half. Swing the ball, attacking Kenya's defense, but at a risk of just conceding territory and penalties here, as this rack just comes into slow down, really. Gets held up, and at this point it's going to be a turnover. They do not bring him down early enough, and that started as a maul, unplayable, and Kenya's ball turnover.
Taken in by Black.
Yes, Kenya will definitely be needing more order in the set piece play.
Let's have a scrum here.
As you see there, he's getting marked there by the red shirts. There was no exiting from that alley that he walked into.
Kenya rugby loves this kind of thing. They call it pickpocketing. You know.
Indeed, it is.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Scrum down here for Kenya. Brian Wahinya just looks to put it in. Steady one. And at the base of it, strong carry, Jimson Misoga. Determined move, and Chao just steps his man in and out, and is just a rush of blood there, trying not to get out of the pitch with the ball. Throws it in, and
Misoga seems to have come back with a lot of oomph, having been on the Simbi, on the naughty chair. Seems to be making amends. 2 big runs off his kickoff, and now that one.
That's outside. We can play.
good territory there, good territory coming in there. And another opportunity for Kenya to go for what has worked best for them in this match. Another line out, another ball coming here for the Cranes to defend. Good throw there by, as I said it, and the referee has a different opinion of that throw. Of course, he is at the center of it. Calls it skewed. Kenya lose an opportunity.
The new rules haven't come into play yet. A lot of our Kenyans will be operating as if the rules are on. You still have to throw the ball straight, whether the other guy jumps or not. And there we have Sifuna throwing askew and therefore losing that big opportunity.
Set.
Yeah, a raft of new rules that World Rugby just instituted to ensure there
Stay
is
bound.
competition
Stay
and
bound.
the game moves faster. Kenyan scrum just guilty of rising up there under pressure, and
Release
the referee penalizes them,
Playing
advantage for
Open
Uganda
out.
Cranes, disengaging early,
That's
rising
it.
up in the scrum, you name it. And
Get on side.
Cranes just taking their time, weighing their options here. Do they want to use that penalty or do they want to stretch Kenyans out? And they wanted to stretch Kenyans out, but ball handling just curtailing their efforts there.
These Cranes, if they get more clinical, there will be issues, I can tell you.
Indeed, and we saw glimpses of that in the first
Oh,
half. They,
all right,
at
I'll
one
watch
point,
that.
they did almost 12 phases where they kept Kenyans just chasing shadows and committing three successful penalties that led to a yellow card. And you see, if they do that again, there will be trouble. That kick not going out, going for the distance and
Behind.
not
Retreat.
getting success out
Retreat.
of it. Ball is raised high. At the end of it, Aaron, with just a fancy pass there.
That's a forward for you.
Yeah, he's a colorful character.
Out. Retreat.
Goes for territory
Retreat.
there.
Retreat.
Timothy Omela,
Inside.
good kick. Attempt at a 50-22, doesn't get to touch. And both teams now exchanging kicks here. Uganda getting the better of it.
You get this feel that in the international game now, I mean, if you get your kicking right, you're almost certainly going to be the one who gets on the good side of the scoreboard. Yeah?
Indeed, because teams have been, teams are quite adept at attacking for penalties. And once they're in your half and in your territory, you cannot sustain that pressure for a while.
The error always comes.
Yes, the error always comes. The penalty comes in, and you're either chasing the threes on the scoreboard or a try at the end of it. Wild pass there from Walter, just throws it behind his man. Lucky enough, they're able to retain that ball. We need numbers coming into this rack, secure that rack and just exit. Patience is required here, even as we see another strong carry by Kenya at the center of the pitch. Waihinya with a throw out wide. Options there for Omela and first of the times that we are seeing. Being patient here just to ensure that they exit properly.
Taken back. Stay. Freeze.
Barry with a kick there that tests Uganda's back three. They hit back with another up and under.
Retreat. Keep retreating.
Face
Now
of
you are onside.
play now to see who gets punished for what, and Kenya just peeling that ball there. Referee just checking to see if there was an offside in that.
Get onside.
Kenyans just survived that one.
Charge
Another
down.
charge down. The game coming loose here.
Roll away.
Big hit, big collision there. Walter
That's it.
teaming up
That's it. Get back.
to dish one big hit on the Ugandan attackers.
That's it. Get back. Get back. Get back.
Both teams just trying to look for mistakes in the defense, and strong carry there coming in from Sydney. Retains possession well and
That's not
pumping
for you.
his
I'm playing advantage.
legs there,
Get back.
trying to get some more meters for his team.
Roll away, Black.
It's a game
Roll
of the
away.
forwards now.
Still playing advantage.
They carry and just look to open up. Another fancy pass that doesn't go to hand, but surviving that one. Robin
Roll.
Phillip with the ball.
That's it, yeah.
Game now just slowly but surely being consolidated around Kenya's
Roll
half
away,
here.
Red. Get onside.
Uganda now going through the paces, creating several faces here. Slowly just coming into
Over there, playing advantage.
Kenya's
Offside.
22, approaching Kenya's 22, and good contest there, but referee calls it back after a long phase of play. Fred Dolos.
Yeah, I mean, you get this feel that Uganda is slowly going to getting back their shape. They seem to be keeping the possession for quite a while, and this is leading to errors.
Yeah, as you see in the pictures there, former chairman Mzee Mwangi, the current chairman Sasha Mutai, back to the days when he oversees several of these Elgon Cup matches during his reign.
They work together with the chairman being Mwangi and Sasha being the sevens director. So
yeah,
this is familiar territory.
True. And Uganda deciding to go for the 3 points just to reduce this gap back to 4. And lining the kick up is Shakim Sembusi, so far successful with 2 kicks. And it drifts off to the right, missing this long-range effort.
If there's one thing that Uganda will have to do in the coming week is to spend time with their kicking. So that if Kenya's discipline remains at the same level, then definitely we are seeing a situation in which there will be trouble with the Ugandan fans behind.
Yes, coming on to play now. Substitutions here. John Nkubu has been out on a break but came back for the training. Never saw him in the local Kenya 7th circuit, but he's back. And also coming in, going out Barry Young and Brian Wahinya, the pairing, the halfback pairing, going out, and John Kubu comes in together with the evergreen John Onsomu, who had a fantastic Super Series.
Yes, I mean this is probably. I mean, we spoke with Walter during halftime, and I was saying that one of the things that Kenya needs to do is to get their halfback pairing taking care of the game.
Indeed, and as we know, Uganda Cranes recover that kick. No calling, no communication in that high ball, and Uganda Cranes get territory. A bit of chat back here to spread the ball out wide. Center pitch scrambles are normally very tricky.
You will remember that glorious try that they had in first half. Kenya will be hoping that we don't do any of that missed tackling.
Yes, and a steady scrum, and they're trying to go for the penalty. If it doesn't work, they will swing it out, and definitely going all the way here. It might be a penalty try. The referee plays advantage as they swing it out wide. The pass is not going to hand, but he steps his man and scores. Uganda Cranes hit back 5. Robin Philip, the debutant for Uganda Cranes, just stood his defender there inside, then went out. Just 5 meters, he stretched and scored for Uganda's 3rd try of this match. Look at it there, just punishes Alfred Orege for looking at him and staring at him.
Yes, I mean, I have a soft spot for these wingers who, in tight spots, they still manage to close the score for you. This is turning out to be quite the match.
Yeah, and indeed, Uganda not going away in this match. 24-22 with a conversion to come. Shakim Sembusi. Getting distracted here and cut calls all over from the fans, but skews it to the right here, misses the conversion. Scores remain 24-22 in favor of Kenya, but can't tell where this one is going. Just look at him, in, out, and stretches and scores. Trusting your inside defense.
Orege must close the outside space. He
Yes.
must close the outside space and leave the inside defenders to catch up.
Should have trusted his inside defense.
Yeah, he really is. He really needed to trust his inside defense.
Nonetheless, John Nkubu starts us off with a restart high into the skies, well recovered by the Cranes. The wild pass that creates pressure here. If SIMBAS can turn over this ball, they look like they will. Ref just communicating to SIMBAS players to roll away. The tackler in this case, the Kenya Simba players, not rolling away in the tackle, but again the ball was in the air, being unplayable.
Yeah, ref is calling a team going forward on
That's
the
ball
rack.
on the ground.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Sometimes you just have to accept the ref's decision. I think he's controlled this well, considering that it is his second test. Tinashe.
Yes, indeed, second test. But you will need to know it. He's done well so far. No contested goals, and most teams playing well
What's up, big man?
under his guidance. Break in play here as medical checks. One of the players who got injured there, as we look at Kenya head coach Jerome Paotas, still doing that opportunity to go to the World Cup with Kenya back in the 2015 World Cup.
Oh man, I remember that one where we had to just draw a match or actually win within 7 points. And
Yes,
we won away.
lose within 7 points, and some very favorable mathematics, but ended up losing that match.
It was shocking.
The closest we ever come to going for the World
And
Cup.
also, in the later stages, we can check with the
But he's back here. He's back here together with Carlos and trying to chart the path back for Kenya into the contest to qualify for the next World Cup.
All right,
This year
There's a discussion to get.
all right, he's gonna get a replacement. He's coming. All right, black ball going forward.
So exiting play here after an injury. Looks like is it Eugene Sifuna or
All right,
No, it's not.
Victor, yeah.
Wilhait Mususi?
I want to confirm that the prop who's coming back.
Just got a
Was
bit
in
injured
before.
there and has to
Can he
exit
come back
play.
in?
Ephraim Oduor comes back in
This injury is
for a specialist role, tight
Can he
head
come back?
role. That substitution is normally allowed just to keep the game steady.
Tinashe doesn't seem too sure.
They say he can come back. They say he can come back. Turbo confirmed. He's a pro. He's a pro.
Yeah, I think the match officials at the touchline have allowed it, so
Red zone. Red
we
zone.
go ahead.
Crouch.
The scrum down in favor of Uganda CRANES. They're defending this one just some 6 meters,
Set.
7 or so away from their try line.
All right, we
Calling.
got it. Stay
Conrad
fast.
Wanyama with a put in there. And Onsomu being a nuisance just takes,
From the
tackles
side.
his man,
From the
tackles the
side.
Sydney Gogondio, who took the ball from the base of that rack, injecting some energy. Samson Onsomu just went for him, caught him, and immediately Nyambua was on it. And that sealing, coming from the side and sealing.
What are we doing?
Defensive scrums can make that happen, you know. As we have an option taken here by the SIMBAS team, John Kubu straight into the kicking duties. They elect to go for the 3 points just to create some buffer, some 5-point buffer with 10 minutes to go.
You must always make those little sort of battles count.
Yes.
When Onsomu has just become a nuisance right there, and definitely, don't gamble. Don't go and chase the 5 points. Take the 3
10
points.
seconds.
Take the contact, the
restart.
possession.
Looking good.
Kubu successful with that conversion, adds 3 points to it and just stretches Kenya's lead. Uganda now with 10 minutes to go will need to score a try, if only to tie the match. And now this, as we said again, this restart is going to be crucial for Kenya here. They have to possess it and they have to exit. Otherwise, Uganda will punish them. Ball raised high and properly recovered
Right,
there
is it? Last hit, yeah. Last hit.
by Hilary Odhiambo. And Somu now just directing traffic here.
Last hit.
Looks to take the kick himself.
All right, use the
The
red.
base of that
Taken
rack,
back.
gives it to Nkubu.
Stay back. Retreat.
Kubu raises it high into the waiting hands of Shakim Sembusi, who now decides to counter-attack. Carries the ball with numbers out to his left, but a wild pass that pins them back, creates pressure for the CRANES.
Release. Last hit, yeah.
Again, just going out wide, another knock on there. CRANES feeling the pressure here, just trying to play more rugby. but under pressure.
This is just a matter of, I mean, that was like a 5v2. Come on, just straight running and passing. Basic skills. This is what we've been talking about all the while. That must improve, you know. There was no rocket science there or sly or smart running. No,
All right, guys, let's
straight,
have it. We only have 10
commit
seconds.
pass.
And that just shows you the state of mind for the Uganda Cranes, just trying to chase this game, trying to do things faster and trying to do it with intensity, but execution and being clinical around the basics always sets up the better foundation. So cool minds required here for the Cranes if they have to come back into this one. That scrum just looking steady there for the Simbas.
Stay bound in 5. Behind
Trying
the ball.
to drive for
Behind the
a penalty here. And Somu just gives out the ball to Kubu, runs straight, and what a harsh pass as he was cutting back in Walter and unable to. Just some loose play here and there from both teams. Kubu being over exuberant in that, with the whistle already gone.
22.
That might put him into trouble. That might put him into trouble, especially with the assistant referee's call. The whistle had already
over there
gone.
is
He
not
didn't need to
necessary.
do that.
That
Just
there
brought
is not
himself into the
necessary.
radar of the
I'm
referee.
going to penalize you for that.
And Tinashe just penalizes him for that. Kubu just that's
You get the
some
sense.
of, yeah,
you
some
get
of
the sense
the
that he's lucky again.
yeah.
We've gotten lucky there. Unnecessary.
10
He
meters.
tends to be very petulant, you know, with the way he plays, and he gets really, you know, excited a bit, and in this case he costs Kenya possession
And territory.
and territory, brings Uganda right back into Kenya's territory. You see here, he was already out, ref had called, and just goes and you know, shoves a knee into his face also. Just puts himself into trouble. These are some of the things he needs to work
We
on.
got 4 in the line
When
out.
things are going well for
2 and
your
2
team,
is
you
good.
don't need to
10 meters.
make them backtrack. Successful throw in there from the line out for Cranes. They carry it slowly but surely
Right,
at the
roll
center
away,
of the pitch
Red.
there.
Let's sit there.
Nyama takes it back to the left where they have numbers.
Advantage black.
Straight running and offloading. Patient game here again. Worrying times here for Kenya as Cranes just make it into their 22.
Release now. Let's sit here.
Patient play here, which is a
Still
worry
playing
for Kenya.
advantage.
Quick tap and go, and he got it and he's going. But the referee calls him back. Offside called there. Alfred Orege, who's been very quiet in this game, had
He had the opportunity to come alive.
Number 12.
he
Offside.
saw the whitewash there making 75 plus meters, but there was an advantage for an offside and also another one for a neck tackle. The referee calls them back.
I think there was a bit of gamesmanship also. I mean, setting the ball away and
Yeah,
a bit
the
of
dark arts.
gamesmanship.
Yeah,
Even after the whistle, he kept running. So
yeah. Trying just to get into the minds of the Uganda players. And they elect to go for the 3 points. If this goes through, it will be a nail-biting last 5 minutes or so. And this is a change in kickers again. Uganda really changing kickers.
Looking good.
Sails through the posts. Uganda closing the gap to just 2 points between
How about 5 minutes on that
them
one?
and Kenya. Makes an interesting last 4 minutes.
yes, I mean, and remember, Uganda's interest is just to make sure that they finish within the distance, because now will have to be a decider in Kampala, and that's always something that the home team is looking forward to. So that's why they are conservative. They won't do any of this, you know, trying to play from the edges or anything like that. They just want to say, let's keep this score
Match
close,
is
and
very
if you
close.
don't win,
Yeah. And remember, the Elgon Cup is won on aggregates. It's won on aggregate, and every point matters. Every point counts.
Was that 10 meters?
And if they leave here with just 2
Was that 10
points,
meters?
a 3-point win in Uganda is all they need.
It was not 10.
And Uganda is a really hard, difficult hunting ground for Kenya Simbas.
All right, what
that
we
is
got?
a tough place to win.
Yeah. A missed kick there, not didn't go 10. Ceding territory, ceding possession to the Cranes, just what they didn't need. Even as we see in your pictures there, Griffin Musila coming in for Eugene Sifuna at hooker. Now needs to have this steady. Eugene not in your pictures there, limping out of the pitch.
5 minutes to go.
Got himself.
All right, are we good to
injured a
go?
bit.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Kenya
All
need
right.
to repossess this one. They can put in pressure on this scrum,
5 meters.
but the Cranes
stay
are very
bound.
steady in their scrum. Ball is out to their left here, and they're coming in at pace.
Release.
Tackle there by the Kenyan
That's it.
defense,
That's it.
setting
Use it.
themselves up to play in Kenya's half.
That's it, yeah.
Being patient around it,
That's
just
it. Get back, get back.
managing the clock here.
Black, use
Kubu
it.
initiating a counter-attack. That ball is out. Good pressure play there. Good pressure on the
All right,
racks.
roll away.
Needs to roll
That's it,
away
yeah.
there.
Back.
They still get
16, get back.
penalized. Uganda, you get the sense they're just running down the
Get back,
clock
get
here.
back.
Pretty looking
Roll away.
comfortable with
Roll
what
away.
they have so far.
That's it, yeah.
Hilary Odambo has to roll away there. They come again to the level and just playing at gear one, really not
Roll away.
no
That's it, yeah.
intensity,
That's it.
moving from one pod to the next one and resetting.
Roll away. That's it,
Kenyans
yeah.
need to be alive to what the Ugandans are doing here. They need to turn over this ball. Numbers out to the left as he takes the gap and he goes. Good running there by Yasin Waswa. Gets mowed down
That's it,
by
yeah.
Samson Onsomu on
Use it, black.
cross-cover defense. But they have gained a lot of meters here. They're some 10 meters shy of
Roll, roll.
Kenya's 22.
Roll. No, your hands.
Another
That's it, yeah.
penalty here and Kenyans will lose this match. They need to be alive to the fact that these are worrying times. Good contest there by Ephraim Odur. Isolating himself, Brian Wandera isolated himself there. And Odur went for the steal and got it. What do they do here, Fred Olos?
No, they have to go for touch and far.
Let's have it. Let's have it.
As you look there, Wandera just goes on deck and sealing happened there, even as Ephraim Odur tried to contest for that. Kubu needs to just put this one as much close as possible as he can to Uganda's try line. Not a bad kick that
Then
one.
decent, very decent. So the sort of things that Kubu does for you, I mean, when he's not costing you penalties.
Indeed. He has a good sure boot
Sorry?
on him. Very educated boot.
All right, hold.
And that lineup will also be instructive. Look at this field that Uganda have shown up today.
Yeah, indeed they have. If you look at it, it's not a bad
Happy.
place they are in at this time in the game.
Sack is fine. That's a
As you
sack.
see also,
That's it.
Conrad Wanyama, scrummer for Cranes, comes out. A few minutes to go.
Look at yourself. Straight off your feet. Get on your feet. Straight off
Kenya
your feet.
again just guilty of not taking care of their ball, just sealing. No contest, just go straight to deck. Stops a fair contest from the Cranes
Stay on
and turns
your
over
feet.
possession.
Yeah, that error has happened a lot in this game. People not staying on their feet. The breakdown penalties will definitely worry Parwater and his team.
As you can see, it's
Last
very
minute.
animated with Carlos there, just discussing about
Minute.
was it the call or was it the
Oh, we're
execution
locking
of
up
that
in a minute.
defense on the rack. Nonetheless, Uganda now just into Kenya's territory,
All right, let's have it.
and Kenyans need to be very disciplined here. They cannot afford to give a penalty. That's a skewed ball for sure, and spotted by Tinashe, who
What we
gives
got? Line out your scrum.
Kenya with the possession there.
Line out.
Very important for Kenya just to get out of, see if they can get any points out of these remaining few minutes, but they have a lot to do being in their own half. they will need to be very clinical.
They need
Right.
to get
Here we go.
territory of this
All right.
more or less last play.
Gentlemen, this could be the last
And
movement.
a proper chase. They
This could
need
be the
to
last movement. Last
just
play.
get a good up and
Yes.
under proper chase and pin Uganda. in
The
their-
ref has called the final movement, so let's see what happens.
I think they'll
Crouch!
kick it out and take the win.
Yeah? You live to fight another
Bye!
They
day.
live to fight another day.
Set! Hold it! Hold!
Onsomu now with the ball in his hands and puts it
Stay
in
bound.
well. The scrum has to be steady, and Onsomu clearly just they're gonna kick it out, walk it out, run it out, whatever the case. Kubu does so. The game comes to an end. Kenya Simbas emerging victorious here, 27-25. Uganda losing, but this is only the first half of the Elgon Cup. There is a return leg, a decider match in Kampala in another week's time, where Uganda will look at just a simple win of 3 points plus. Fred.
Yeah, I mean, I called a 2-score win. We have a 1-score win and a final now to play in Uganda. This will be quite the match. And the fans will be flipped. Then be the other way around. You can see the Ugandans actually silence the Kenyan supporters. So let's see how the return match plays out.
Indeed, we'll do so, and we look forward to seeing how you there, if you're able to travel and make it there to support the Kenya Simbas as we renew rivalries here with the full-time scores 27-25. Kenya Simbas emerging victorious in this. It's been a good day of rugby. It's been a fantastic day. And at the end of it all, rugby is the winner as Kenya.
You never go wrong with a test match. There's always something. There's always a new script written in every test match. And now you can see 27-25 with Uganda actually playing some really, really good things in there. You get the feel that we have a real contest that will happen in Kampala.
Indeed, it is one to look forward to. And we know that most Kenyans travel well for these matches. Even as you see the shots there, players just congratulating each other for the nice game that we've witnessed today. We thank you all for joining in. We wish you all the best for those who travel as we come over down to Uganda.
Wish everyone journey masses and those.
Do we sign off, Director? Thank you. Thank you, Fred Oloz. Been with me, Elijah Toili, even as we wind this down. We look forward to another round of games next weekend. Yes, and indeed, as you see there, finally, the stats brought in by Abel Tisini. Try scored there in favor of Kenya Simbas, 4-3. The story of the day, the penalties conceded. Kenya Simbas with a whooping 16 penalties against Uganda CRANES 10. Surviving, not being punished for that, but also just pointing to how Uganda CRANES have been able to keep ball and force penalties out of Kenya Simbas. But in all, what matters most is the final score, 27-25. And that is what will carry on the next weekend. Look forward to seeing you there. And we look forward to seeing you there even as we wait to see trophy presentation on your screens.
2024 Elgon Cup, the Nairobi chapter. Like to ask the Kenya Rugby chairman and Sheila Bell from Amara from over there to start getting ready for the award ceremony. The first things first, the losing captain, and of course the winning captain. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by the losing captain for the Uganda CRANES, Byron of Byron. Nairobi, 27-25. What do you make of the scoreline of the opening fixture of the 2024 Elgon Cup?
Like I said earlier on in the interview, we've been knocking at the door so many times, 2019 and even last year. It really shows that we have really improved, and the guys were ready, and I'm so proud of them.
Well, it was a near miss for you guys. 2 points as you head back to Kampala. What do you take away from the opening fixture?
Of course, we've got some areas to work on, and we shall go down and review our games. By the time next weekend, we shall be ready to take the win.
We've had a decent crowd from Uganda and, of course, the Kenyan fans. What do you have to tell the fans who turned out today to watch your team and, of course, the Kenya SIMBAS?
First and foremost, I would like to thank all our dear fans who traveled to come down here and give us support. Cheers, Uganda! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! We love you guys, and next weekend it's massive, and we are ready to take on Kenya and get that win from home.
All right, thank you so much, Byron. I want to let you to go back to your team and enjoy tonight, and of course, enjoy your trip back to Uganda. Thank you, and see you in Kampala.
Thank you very much.
Now time, ladies and gentlemen, for the winning captain. The winning captain, ladies and gentlemen, George Nyambua. George, a narrow win in front of your home fans. Sum that game for the fans.
Thank you. It's been a while since we played here in Uganda. Last time we played Uganda was 2018, so that's around 6 years ago. And then we had a short notice for preparation, but I'm glad we won. Going forward, we need to put more work so that we can outplay them in Kampala, because it's going to be a very tough game compared to today.
Speaking of tough, 2 points going into Uganda. Not really a good scoreline for you to go and defend in Uganda. But what do you guys have to do in a span of 1 week to make sure that you can go to Uganda and win in Kampala?
We'll go back to the drawing board, work on the mistake that we did today, and try to polish them up before traveling to Uganda. But today I'll say most of our set pieces work, so we only rectify a few areas on open play.
All right, I'd like to ask one thing of you. These fans who've come out to watch you and support you, what do you guys have to tell the fans who've come out?
We are very proud of our fans. Thank you, Kenya Rugby fans, for coming to support the Kenya SIMBAS and the friend of SIMBAS. We are glad you came, and we don't take it for granted. And we urge you also next week to come to Kampala and support the boys.
Thank you so much, George. Congratulations on your win, and all the best as you head to Kampala. Now time, ladies and gentlemen, for the award ceremony. The Uganda coach, Coach Fred Mudola, wherever you are, tafadhali. Coach Fred Mudola, ladies and gentlemen. Coach, I spoke to you before the kickoff of the game. It has been a very entertaining game. You lost by just 2 points. What do you have to say about the scoreline and, of course, the performance of the boys?
Well, First of all, congratulations to Kenya for winning the game. Commiserations to Uganda. We wanted to win today in Kenya, but we'll live to fight another day.
Now, speaking of living to fight another day, a 7-day turnaround for both the Kenya Simbas and Uganda. What do you have to do to make it right in Kampala?
Well, of course, it's reviewing the game and putting correct the small mistakes, because it's a short turnaround, so there's hardly anything we can change.
And speaking of the turnaround, Kenya has been a graceful host. The fans have come out. One thing and one word for the fans.
Oh, thank you very much to the fans. Hope you come down to Uganda next week.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That is Fred Mudola, the head coach of the Uganda Cranes. Now time for the Kenya head coach. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by the head coach of the Kenya Simbas, Jerome Parwota. Jerome, take us through your feeling of that 80 minutes.
Yeah, first of all, I would just like to say thank you for the crowd coming out. And it was a tough game, but I'm glad we could smiles on your faces at the end there. But thanks for coming out.
It's been a long time before the Kenya Simbas played right here in Nairobi. The mistakes that the Kenya Simbas had, you have 1 week to try and correct that. Will we be ready as we head to Kampala?
We will definitely be ready, and we know it's going to be tough in Kampala. Uganda gave us a run for our money today, but we will definitely be ready. We have a few days to prepare. We had a short week last week to prepare, but we will definitely be ready, and we know what to expect from Uganda in Uganda.
Speaking of Uganda, you made a couple of changes from the last team that played Uganda, that is in Kisumu. You also made a selection of players across board. You have a team that you can present in Uganda. Are you going to make a lot of changes or minimal changes?
Look, we want to bring new players in, so we'll probably get a few new players to go with us to Uganda to give them much test match rugby under the belt before next year, so that's important. And there's a lot of rugby players in Kenya which we have to give a chance to play. And next year it's important, so we have to look at younger players.
One final word, Coach. What do you have to tell the fans and hopefully anyone looking to make the trip to Kampala next weekend?
Yeah, I think if it's not too far from Nairobi to go to Kampala, so I hope we can see almost all of you there to support the team. We're going to need it.
Thank you so much, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Jerome Powert, the coach of the Kenya Simbas. DJ.
That's it. Stay.
For the Kenya Simbas, bringing the scores to the Kenya Simbas 10, Uganda.
Three-match day official cast. Thank you so much for match officials. Uganda, I need you to make your way to the award ceremony. You point out your loyal following.
5 meters. Black, retreat, retreat. Last feet here. Look at yourself. Straight off your feet. Straight off your feet. Stay on your feet. Looking good. Happy. Cross. All right. There is ball. Last week here. Last week. Last week there.
Bring the scores. Current scores: Kenya 19, Uganda 17.
That's it.
Uganda 17. Many thanks to all our sponsors. Thank you so much to Live for giving this across the globe on YouTube. Thank you so much to Tusker.
From the side, from the side. Looking good. Brilliant. Still playing advantage. Are we good, yeah? Looking good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Uganda Cranes receiving
gift hampers courtesy of our match day sponsor, grooming partner Amara. Put your hands together for the Uganda Cranes. Congratulations, Uganda. Thank you so much for making the trip to Nairobi. Falling short, however, the return leg beckons. Hopefully, we'll see you, gentlemen, in Kampala. I'd like to ask our dignitaries to remain put as we look to award the winners of the first leg of the 2024 Elgon Cup, the Kenya SIMBAS. SIMBAS. Kenya SIMBAS. Griffin and your teammates, Safadali. DJ. Kenya SIMBAS, tafadhali, make your way to the award ceremony as our dignitaries await your presence. And our dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, the Kenya Rugby Union Chairman Sasha Mutai, Sheila Mbere of Amara, our grooming partner. Thank you so much, Sheila. Mulindwa Kennedy, Uganda Rugby Union Treasurer, and Andrew Musangi, Chairman, Central Bank of Kenya. DJ nishikie kidogo. Haya. The captain of the Kenya SIMBAS, Nyambua, tafadhali make your way back to the award ceremony, and the captain will be receiving the team shield courtesy of Tusker. And I'd like to ask Ross Macau, Senior Brand Manager, Tusker, kindly make her way forward to the award ceremony.
That's it. Good job. We have not been much to the table.
Coming down the round for the
Catch it off if you're not going.
Kenya, SIMBAS 5, Uganda 7.
Stay!
This Ross Macau, Senior Brand Manager, Tusker.
Let's go.
And batting over for the Kenya SIMBAS Jason Kisonga, bringing the scores to the Kenya SIMBAS 10, Uganda. Uganda 5.
Five meters.
What is the second try for Ireland?
10 meters. Black, retreat, retreat. Let's sit here. Look at yourself. Straight off your feet. Straight off your feet. Stay on your feet. Looking good. Happy. Cross. Over. There is ball. Last week here. Last week. Last week there.
Bring the scores. Current scores, Kenya 19, Uganda 17.
That's it.
Uganda 17. Many thanks to all our sponsors. Thank you so much to Live for being this across the globe on YouTube. Thank you so much. to Tusker.
From the side, from the side.
Looking good. Brilliant.
Still playing advantage. Are we good, yeah?